Master Feroda, the Jedi Council has assigned you with a pair of exceptionally engineered clones. X1 and 2 should do well under your command.
Thank you, Master Kenobi. Your trust with such elite clone troopers is a great honor.
Train them well. Their genetically enhanced abilities will make them keenly versed in almost all forms of combat. But it may also make them unpredictable.
I will be sure to temper their training with guidance.
Tired of the same old scene at the other cantinas? Try a cold one, or warm one, at Cuddy's Carvel, the happening hotspot in the brand new garrison, just a bantha ride from Mos Espa. Whether you come for business or pleasure, or just to get saucy and start fights, we've got you covered. Play a game of sabak or pazak, or mingle it up in our fancy VIP room. Tonight is Rodian night, which means Rodians get in free, so come on down. No droids allowed.
How is life in Mos Espa treating you, Master Feroda?
Tatooine has one sun too many, if you ask me. Aside from the heat, it's not so bad.
Are your elite soldiers getting our clone army ready for battle?
Most of our clone soldiers have just arrived from Kamino.
They can't be more than a few years old. They need quite a bit of training before they're ready for combat.
You're right. If it wasn't for growth acceleration, I'd be leading younglings into battle. X1 and X2 should have them ready in no time.
I understand the Hutt scum has placed his fatal trust in the Republic.
Yes, Lord Sidious. The Republic has been allowed to establish a small outpost there.
If coercion fails, we shall move quickly, with an appropriate response.
An invasion of the planet is already underway, my lord.
Your droid armies will only prove to be a distraction. There are elite clone forces stationed on Tatooine. They may prove difficult to eradicate.
HoloNet News. The information sources of the Republic is sponsored by...
Hello, folks. This is Dexter Jetsa, owner of Dex's Diner here in Cocoa Town. Come on down to Dex's Diner if you want juicy conversation and a hot cup of Jawa juice. We've got delicious blue milkshakes and the best Nerf steaks this side of Alderaan. Let the greatest soup jockeys in the galaxy make you feel right at home.
Who are you calling a soup jockey?
We'll see you at Dex's Diner for the best eats in the Cocoa Town streets.
We now return to Republic life on HNN.
I regret to report that a state of war has fallen on the Republic. As a senator, I can no longer be blinded to the fact that the Galactic Senate is corrupt and ineffective. I have become increasingly concerned about Chancellor Palpatine's emergency powers. He seems determined to consolidate executive power while the Senate struggles to deal with the Separatists. Our greatest threat may be from within the Republic itself. Master Kenobi, how goes it with your Padawan Anakin Skywalker?
Anakin has great potential, but he needs more guidance than I anticipated.
I know the feeling after commanding these elite clone troopers.
I didn't realize clones needed guidance.
Most don't, but these two seem different. One is very honorable, but the other, X1, seems to have a lot of anger in him.
Maybe they're clones of Anakin.
Haha, doubtful. Although X1 is a favorite of Chancellor Palpatine as well.
There's elite clones and all your troops should be prepared. The Council is concerned that there may be an attack on Coruscant itself in the coming weeks.
General Grievous might be bold enough to send his droid armies against Coruscant. If he does, we will be ready to defend the capital, Master Kenobi.
These clones were different from the soldiers that made up the 501st. Where our genes were made from the genetic material of the bounty hunter Jango Fett, their genes were cloned from a different, earlier source. They were prototypes, created to train the clone army. They were more powerful, more agile, and masters of every known combat simulation. At first, I thought maybe they were some kind of droid, since they rarely missed a target or failed a timed simulation. Eventually, I realized that they had combat abilities beyond anything we were capable of.
Hello, I'm Ilan, and I'd like to talk to you briefly about something that's very dangerous. Something that's caused me, and a lot of others like me, and like you, much pain. I'm talking, of course, about death sticks. I used to use death sticks, but a day came when I went home and rethought my life. You see, death sticks may seem like a cheap and easy way to have a good time, but the reality is that death sticks drastically affect your senses and shorten your lifespan. So please, if you're using death sticks, go home and rethink your life. I did. Thank you.
Hello, folks. This is Dexter Jetster, owner of Dex's Diner here in Cocoa Town. Come on down to Dex's Diner if you want juicy conversation and a hot cup of Jawa juice. We've got delicious blue milkshakes and the best Nerf steaks this side of Alderaan. Let the greatest soup jockeys in the galaxy make you feel right at home.
Who you calling a soup jockey?
We'll see you at Dex's Diner for the best eats in the Cocoa Town streets.
I regret to report that a state of war has fallen on the Republic. As a senator, I can no longer be blinded to the fact that the Galactic Senate is corrupt and ineffective. I have become increasingly concerned about Chancellor Palpatine's emergency powers. He seems determined to consolidate executive power, even while the Senate struggles to deal with the Separatists. I fear our greatest threat may be from within the Republic itself.
Commander, take your forces to Cato Neimoidia. We're going to secure the Trade Federation's purse world. Master Farada's elite clone forces will assist you. It will be a treacherous fight, and you'll need them.
It seems General Grievous has convinced Lord Sidious that Cato Neimoidia is a pivotal system in the struggle against the Republic.
I agree, but I do not trust General Grievous to lead our armies. His leadership is dangerous and reckless. Besides, we should lead our armies from within, and not trust such an outsider.
Regardless of how you feel, Viceroy, the Jedi are preparing an attack on Cato Neimoidia. There is a simple solution to your problem. Do not be defeated. Regardless of how you feel, Viceroy, the Jedi are preparing an attack on Cato Neimoidia, and Grievous is your best option against them. The answer to your problem is simple. Do not be defeated.
The hour is near. Republic forces are en route to Cato Neimoidia. The Jedi negotiations will, of course, fail. I have advised my lieutenants to proceed with preparations to defend our purse world. I have advised my lieutenants to proceed with preparations for an attack on our homeworld. Good. It is imperative that you defend Cato Neimoidia at all costs. Yes, Lord Sidious. We will be ready to repel the attack. Yes, Lord Sidious. We will be ready to repel the attack. Of course, Lord Sidious is ready to offer up our droid armies to defend Cato Neimoidia.
It is your home planet, after all, Viceroy. Did you want your riches to fall into the charitable hands of the Jedi Order? It is your most precious purse world, Viceroy. Do you want your riches to fall into the charitable hands of the Jedi Order?
Our wealth won't last long if our droid armies are defeated. I would rather run than fight and lose everything.
I have no doubt about that.
He appeared on Tatooine soon after Emperor Palpatine began to hunt down the Jedi. I was with my son when we saw him crossing the plains toward the ruins of the Jedi Enclave. He quickly disappeared into the Enclave. A few weeks later, we began to see him around the village. Many suspected he was a Jedi, simply by the way he carried himself. There were few friends of the Empire on Tatooine, but the Emperor's spies were everywhere. No one wanted to get too close or know too much. Just before the harvest, my son fell ill. There were rumors that the stranger was a Jedi and had been studying holocrons found deep within the ruins. When the stranger came to town, I saw my mother take him aside and speak with him. The next morning, he walked across our field. He came and sat by my son. He laid his hands on him and silently healed him. Then he got up and left, looking exhausted. We had witnessed that he was indeed a Jedi, and from then on, we would do whatever it took to protect his identity.
The Jedi Council put me under the training of Jedi Master Ram Kota. Traveling together on the Outer Rim, I learned much from Master Kota. Once I had completed the Jedi trials, the Council sent me back to the Outer Rim, alone, to track the mysterious Darth Sidious. I realized I had failed after Order 66. Only because I was on a solitary mission to uncover Palpatine's plans was I spared. I fled to the ruins of the ancient Jedi Enclave on Tatooine.
Different you are. Learn something from one another you can. Take young Fallon as your Padawan you will, Master Kota. Hear no more will I. Train him you must.
We may be simple farmers and craftsmen, but we're not dumb. We saw the Empire forming when Palpatine enacted the creation of his Grand Army of the Republic.
what a joke. It wasn't like I was all that satisfied with the Republic under Valorum or anything. But Palpatine just reeked of something off. When the Jedi were labeled as traitors, that's when we knew it was going to go down. Now, I hoard E5s instead of agriculture.
Excellent. I've needed a new shipment of Wookiees. I'm getting pressure from High Command to increase output. I'll need more as soon as possible.
My price has doubled.
What? Why?
The Wookiees are finding new ways to avoid capture.
You'll get paid, bounty hunter. Just do what you have to. If I don't get those slaves, I'll have to deal with High Command.
If I don't get paid, double my usual price, and you'll have to deal with me.
I trust everything is proceeding as planned.
Not as quickly as I had hoped, but we are still on schedule.
Perhaps the workers are not as motivated as they should be.
Captain Botha is reporting that we're losing quite a few Wookiees to attrition.
Tell him to keep a steady supply of slaves coming in. Nothing must delay our progress.
Yes, Governor. I will make sure he understands the price of failure.
The facility at Desolation Station sits in the shadow of the Death Star construction site. The Death Star plans, originally created by the Confederacy during the Clone Wars, are finally being realized. Scientists from around the galaxy have been recruited specifically for this task. The Death Star will also act as an Imperial detention center and prison. Ultimately, worlds will need to be conquered through subjugation and removal of dissidents, rather than outright annihilation. Of course, soon after the Death Star is completed, a demonstration of its immense power will need to be made.
TK-421, why aren't you at your post? TK-421, why don't you copy? TK-421? Hello? Where is this guy?
I haven't seen him.
Well, where is he?
Sir, I'm not aware of where he is.
Well, he's never at his post. If you see him, tell him to report in. He's being reassigned to the Death Star. Maybe there he'll learn some discipline.
I met up with Gil Tavoy in a cantina called the Slag Pit on Nar Shaddaa. Gil was the pilot who had provided transport for me on a few jobs. He was the one who convinced me that my life as a bounty hunter would be short and unpleasant, especially under the Empire. When Gil told me that he had joined the rebellion, I was interested. He said the rebels were looking for pilots to fight against the Empire. It didn't take much to get me to join up. I was ready for something. Anything to get me off of the smuggler's moon.
The rebels' bold strike against the Death Star has proven they are a threat that must be taken seriously.
Once we find their hidden base, my lord, it will be the end of the rebellion.
The dark side of the Force is strong in you, Commander. Your twin brother is powerful as well, it seems.
He is a traitor, and he will be dealt with accordingly.
It is up to you to destroy him.
You're Gil Tavoy?
Yes, sir.
I've heard you've flown some missions along the Hydian Way.
That's right, sir. I used to do it in under 10 parsecs.
So you know the route, right? The systems? Where the Imperial patrols are?
Fairly well.
I'm putting together a new squadron, and I want your help. You're going to be taking a few young hotshots under your wing. Think you can handle it?
Looking forward to it, sir.
We're not going to get ourselves killed. Why can't you be more positive?
Because every time I hear the word Rebel Alliance, I picture a bunch of Tatooine militia.
It's not like that. They're a well-organized, well-financed organization. Besides, what do you want to do? Stick around this planet slugging on Corellian ale and Dianoga pie for the rest of your life? Or do you want some action? Take the reek by the horns and say, let's do it!
Is this a trick question? Okay. At least let me finish this Corellian ale. It may be my last.
I'd never even heard of a tauntaun until we arrived on this ice planet. We needed to establish a network of life-form sensors around the perimeter of Echo Base. Alliance technicians were still having difficulty adapting our repulsor lift speeders to the sub-zero temperatures. I had grown up nerf herding on Alderaan, so I was given the task of training these wild snow lizards. For reasons that are completely unjustified, nerf herders are often labeled as uneducated, simple folk. I suspect that no one actually thought I was going to be able to train tauntauns into a reliable pack animal. Never underestimate a nerf herder. The first thing you find out about a tauntaun is that they smell bad. It's not a problem outdoors, though, since on Hoth it's too cold to smell. But if you can stand the smell to get close enough, the next thing you usually find out is that they spit. I wouldn't call them the most intelligent creatures in the galaxy, but they are faithful companions once trained. I like to think I can actually understand some of the gurgling noises they make now. I know it's cold. You'd think that they'd be used to it by now.
Once the rebel shield is down, they will move quickly to evacuate their transports. Position your Star Destroyer so that it can track the rebel transports as they escape.
Yes, my lord. I will make sure we know exactly where they're headed.
See to it that nothing prevents us from reaching the rebel fleet. Do not make me regret promoting you to Admiral.
Of course, Lord Vader. They will not escape the grasp of the Empire.
The ice was instantly vaporized under the blaze of our hellfire that day. For every trooper we lost, we claimed double in enemy lives. It was a glorious battle, one worthy of the 501st. After braving their defenses, we secured a solid shelf upon the North Ridge. From there we advanced right into the face of the Alliance guns. We were charged with leading the Imperial forces into that frozen wasteland the rebels called Echo Base. By the time Lord Vader arrived, we had paved a trail of rebel corpses for him. And for that, he commended us.
Your victories have proven that my trust in you was well placed, Admiral.
Thank you, my lord.
There is, however, one error that you must rectify. Your twin brother. He has continued to rise among the ranks of the rebellion.
He is my responsibility, my lord. I will seek him out and destroy him.
You have made the mistake of leaving one ember of the fire burning. Now you will extinguish it completely.
I've received word that the Bothan Spynet has managed to secure the Death Star plans, but not without heavy losses. I, Tinrul Kai, have been dispatched to the forest moon of Endor to track Imperial troop movements. During my mission, I have made contact with the friendly indigenous species known as Ewoks. Years of Bothan survival training has paid off, as I have been able to share a few techniques with the Ewoks that were greatly appreciated. Ewok scouts have been assisting me to spy on Imperial forces. A large Imperial contingent is guarding some type of bunker, which I believe contains the deflector shield that protects the Death Star itself. The Bothan Spynet has informed me that the Death Star plans have been handed off to the Rebel Alliance. Unfortunately, there is still much more information in the Imperial databanks than we were able to recover. I have also informed the Ewoks that Rebel forces will soon come to help drive the Imperial troops from their homeworld. The Ewoks have many gods, but they have recently begun a ceremony in honor of the Great Tree Spirit. The village medicine man has also been going on about a golden sun god that will soon arrive. Some sort of prophecy, I assume.
Trooper, where are all the speeder bikes?
Commander?
The speeder bikes, where have they gone?
Stolen, Commander. By local creatures.
What? What creatures?
Brown ones, Commander. Little furry brown ones. They've proven to be quite a menace. They're up in the trees, hidden, all over the area.
Trooper, I don't want wild stories. I want those bikes back here. And if there is something out there, I want it killed or captured.
Yes, Commander. I'll try, sir.
This is a transmission to the resistance leaders of Cloud City. Rest assured, the New Republic has not forgotten about you. We are aware that Imperial forces still occupy Bespin, and we are making preparations to free you from Imperial tyranny once and for all. Our recent victory at the Battle of Endor has resulted in the death of the Emperor and the destruction of the second Death Star. However, the forces of the Remnant Empire are regrouping. The Imperial occupation of Cloud City provides them with a base of operations that is a formidable threat to the Alliance.
Greetings, Mengla. It's unusual to see a Kaminoan in this part of the galaxy. Or any part of the galaxy, really.
I am no longer welcome among my people.
Well, your cloning skills are certainly welcome here. I understand you were banished from Kamino for using, shall we say, alternative methods?
The Prime Minister of Kamino felt my methods were controversial. There were some unfortunate side effects.
I have established cloning facilities across the galaxy for you to continue your work.
Cloning outside of our labs on Kamino is a trial-and-error process. There are often painful complications.
Use whatever methods you wish. I'm only concerned with results. There is one thing you must do immediately, however. I've identified potential subjects for our first experiments. I'll need you to travel to a new system to begin work.
My lord, you have returned.
Mobilize my forces. Have them ready immediately.
We have been anticipating your arrival. You've changed, my lord. And I see you have acquired a lightsaber.
After I decimated the Republic forces attempting to take Bast Castle,
I began studying Darth Vader's personal archives. There I learned the ancient ways of the Sith Lords.
Nothing can stop our armies now, my lord.
In order to defeat the Alliance, we will need more than conventional forces. On Vune, I had a vision of the future. I will now implement steps to transform that vision into a reality. How goes our progress on Dathomir?
The Wookiees are powerful subjects. They seem to withstand the pain of disfigurement quite well.
Good. Every army relies on the strength of its ground troops. The fact that Wookiees lack intelligence may actually be an asset.
I have prepared the facility for the testing of our new subjects, but I must admit they are very dangerous.
Surely you are not afraid of the Night Sisters. Be still. You're only making this worse for yourself.
Your strength is not enough.
Be quiet, witch. It's you who will feel pain.
To match your twin.
Meng, get your sample from this one and destroy it immediately. I'm going to relocate the operation. The Alliance continues to track our movements.
It will be a shame to leave without a breakthrough. Although I have learned much from my experiments on the Night Sisters, despite the fact that they seem to resent our efforts here.
It's unfortunate that their essence proved so unstable. Either way, I have established a new cloning facility in another system, one that will ensure a powerful host.
Attempting to clone Mustafarians should provide some interesting results.
We're not going to clone them. They're practically genetic mutations as it is. We will, however, use their labor to begin the creation of a new clone army.
An army?
Yes. Your first project will be to clone a new Imperial trooper. Report to Mustafar and begin work immediately. While you were on Kamino, did you have any experience with cloning Jedi?
Jedi? As far as I know, you and your twin are the only beings cloned from a Jedi source.
Would you be able to clone a Jedi at our facility on Mustafar?
If you are thinking of cloning yourself, you should know that a clone cannot be made from a cloned source.
I know that. I had something else in mind. I intend to create a clone army that will guarantee my new empire crushes all who oppose it. I need only the essence of one Jedi.
The Empire has driven the Jedi to the point of extinction. Even if we were to find a Jedi host, there is no guarantee that they would survive the cloning process.
I will get you a Jedi host. You make sure he survives the process. Open an emergency channel to our fleet. Summon them to Mustafar.
But, my lord, you don't want all of our forces to regroup here. What if the Alliance were to attack? But, my lord, you don't want all of our forces to regroup here. What if the Alliance were to attack?
What if? That's exactly what they're going to do once I capture Skywalker. Don't ever question my orders again.
But I just thought...
What was that, Captain?
Nothing, my lord.
Luke Skywalker, the great Jedi that brought down Darth Vader and the Emperor. You've seen better days, Jedi.
Release me, X1. You know this will prove to be your undoing.
Actually, Skywalker, this is going to be your undoing. As soon as my scientist extracts your essence, I will build a legion of indestructible and obedient clones. And then I will use them to conquer the galaxy.